Hi everyone and welcome back to Tiny Talks. In this video, we'll continue with Part 2 and Part 3 of the IELTS speaking test. If you haven't watched Part 1 yet, be sure to check it out to familiarize yourself with the format of the test. Our channel provides sample answers for common IELTS topics. Through these examples, you can practice listening, speaking skills, and learn plenty of new vocabulary along the way. The topic for today's test is travel and tourism, one of the most common and exciting themes in IELTS speaking. To start, we want you to know that the lesson will be divided into two parts. First, you will listen to a conversation between Mr. David and Sophia as they discuss some common questions related to the topic. Make sure to have your notes ready because, in the second part, we'll learn some key vocabulary from the conversation. This section will help you expand your vocabulary and apply it effectively in similar contexts. So, are you ready to start practicing? Let's begin.
Now we'll move on to Part 2 of the test. In this part, I will give you a cue card with a topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare and then speak for about 2 minutes. You may take notes if you wish. Here is your topic. Your time starts now. All right, you may start speaking now.
The place I've always dreamed of visiting in the future is Switzerland. It's a relatively small yet incredibly beautiful country in Europe. Renowned for its stunning landscapes, peaceful environment, and remarkably high quality of life. I've always been absolutely captivated by images of the Swiss Alps. The majestic mountains, the pristine lakes, it all looks so idyllic. I'm a huge nature lover, and I think Switzerland would be the perfect place for me to fully immerse myself in its natural splendor. I've also heard that the cities there are impeccably clean and the people are civilized. In fact, Switzerland is considered one of the most developed and livable countries in the world. If I had the chance to go there, I would definitely spend a lot of time hiking in the mountains and exploring the small villages. I'm also eager to sample the local cuisine, like Swiss chocolate and cheese. And, maybe even go skiing if I can muster the courage. I am also interested in their watchmaking industry, known for its precision and high quality. What makes Switzerland special to me is that it represents a kind of tranquility and harmonious coexistence with nature. It's like a place where you can escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and just, recharge your batteries. Just imagining myself there, surrounded by breathtaking scenery, fills me with a sense of excitement and peace. I feel like it would be an absolutely once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Thank you, Sophia. Now let's move on to Part 3. I will ask you some follow-up questions related to the topic you just talked about. Try to give detailed answers and explain your opinions. What can people learn from traveling to different countries?
Well, for me, I find traveling to different countries can be incredibly enlightening. First of all, it helps people understand different cultures and lifestyles, which makes them more open-minded and tolerant. They're not just learning about different cultures, different ways of life, but also challenging their own preconceptions they might have had. Besides, adapting to new environments while traveling significantly enhances problem-solving skills. And of course, traveling is also a great way to pick up new languages, even if it's just a few key phrases. For instance, last year in Thailand, I managed to learn some basic Thai, and it really helped me connect with locals more easily.
That's a good point. Now, do you think international tourism has a positive or negative impact on local cultures?
I would say it's both, actually. On the one hand, tourism can bring in a lot of money and create jobs, which can be really beneficial for local communities. But on the other hand, it can also lead to over-commercialization, where traditional practices are turned into, tourist attractions. Some places lose their original charm because they become too focused on tourists. And, sometimes it can even lead to the gradual erosion of local traditions. So, it's important to find a balance, I think.
That's an interesting perspective. Next question. Should governments invest more in developing tourist attractions or in improving local infrastructure?
I think it depends on the country. In some countries, tourism is a major source of income, so investing in tourist attractions makes sense. However, in other countries, where the infrastructure is severely lacking, the government should definitely focus on that first. After all, without good transportation, roads, or public services, it's hard to attract tourists in the first place. Good infrastructure benefits both tourists and local people. For example, Japan has an amazing railway system, which makes traveling super convenient for everyone, not just tourists.
Right, I get that. Now, from your perspective, how has technology changed the way people travel?
Technology has completely revolutionized travel. Nowadays, you can book flights and hotels online, use GPS to navigate, and even translate languages in real time. And, social media has made it so easy to share your travel experiences with others through images or reels. It's undeniable that technology has made traveling much more convenient. However, there's a downside. Some people become so preoccupied with capturing photos that they miss out on truly enjoying the moment.
I see your point. Let's delve a bit deeper into this. Do you think virtual tourism, such as VR travel experiences, will ever replace real travel?
I don't believe so. While VR travel is definitely an exciting innovation and it can be useful for people who can't afford to travel or have physical limitations, it can never replace the real experience. The sights, the aromas, the sounds, the feeling of being in a new place, those are things you can only get from actually being there. That kind of sensory immersion is impossible with VR technology. I believe people will always yearn for that genuine, real-world experience.
All right, Sophia. This is the end of the speaking test.
That wraps up our speaking practice for today. Did you catch everything Sophia shared? If not, don't worry. Next, we'll dive into some new vocabulary that relates to our topic discussion. Make sure to grab your notes and let's expand our vocabulary together.
Be renowned for. To be renowned for means to be famous because of something specific, like a skill, a quality, or an achievement. For example, Harvard University is renowned for its academic excellence. Stunning landscape. A stunning landscape refers to a view of nature that is extremely beautiful and impressive, the kind of scenery that takes your breath away. For example, the artist is painting a stunning landscape of the sunset. Captivate. To captivate means to attract or hold someone's attention completely, usually because something is so interesting, beautiful, or impressive. For example, the magician's tricks captivate the audience, keeping everyone glued to their seats. Majestic. Majestic means very beautiful and impressive. It's the kind of beauty that feels powerful and unforgettable, like mountains or castles. For example, the majestic mountains in the background made the castle look even more magical. Pristine. When something is described as pristine, it means it's in its original, perfect condition, clean, pure, and not affected by people. For example, the pristine lakes reflect the surrounding trees like mirrors. Idyllic. Idyllic describes something extremely peaceful, beautiful, and perfect, like a little dream world, far away from stress and noise. For example, their wedding is held in an idyllic garden full of flowers. Nature lover. A nature lover is someone who truly enjoys being outdoors and appreciates the beauty of the natural world, like forests, mountains, or rivers. For example, as a nature lover, she spends most weekends hiking in the forest. Immerse myself in. To immerse myself in something means becoming completely involved or deeply engaged. For example, I like to immerse myself in a good book. Splendor. Splendor refers to something that has great beauty or a magnificent appearance, something grand, impressive, and breathtaking to look at. For example, the splendor of the royal palace impresses all visitors. Impeccably. Impeccably means doing something perfectly, without any flaws, mistakes, or anything out of place. For example, he is impeccably prepared for the interview, from his outfit to his answers. Civilized. When someone or something is civilized, it means being well-mannered, cultured, and socially developed, acting with kindness and maturity. For example, a civilized debate should involve respect for different opinions. Eager. To be eager means you really want to do something. You're excited and can't wait for it to happen. For example, the children were eager to open their Christmas presents as they sat around the sparkling tree. Local cuisine. Local cuisine refers to the traditional food and cooking style of a particular area. It's what the locals usually eat and take pride in. For example, when visiting Japan, you must try the local cuisine like sushi and ramen. Muster the courage. To muster the courage means to gather enough strength or bravery to do something difficult or scary. For example, She has to muster the courage to speak in front of the crowd. Watchmaking industry. The watchmaking industry refers to the business of designing and producing watches. For example, Switzerland is the global leader in the watchmaking industry. Precision. Precision means being extremely accurate and exact, especially when small details really matter. For example, the surgeons operate with great precision and full attention to detail. Tranquility. Tranquility refers to a state of peace and quiet, when everything feels quiet and free from stress or noise. For example, meditation helps bring a sense of tranquility to the mind. Harmonious coexistence. Harmonious coexistence means people living together peacefully and without conflict, respecting each other's differences. For example, the school promotes harmonious coexistence among students of different backgrounds. Hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle describes the busy, noisy activity often found in cities. That's full of people, traffic, and movement. For example, after a long day in the hustle and bustle of the city, she enjoys relaxing at home. Once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime is used to describe something so special that it's unlikely to happen again. Something you don't want to miss. For example, winning the lottery is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Enlightening. Enlightening means something that gives you new knowledge or insight. It helps you understand things in a deeper or clearer way. For example, the professor's lecture on artificial intelligence is truly enlightening. Open-minded. To be open-minded means being willing to accept new ideas, opinions, or experiences, even if they're different from your own. For example, a good leader should be open-minded and willing to listen to different perspectives. Tolerant. Tolerant describes someone who accepts and respects different opinions, cultures, or behaviors. For example, the teacher encouraged students to be tolerant of cultural differences. Preconception. A preconception is an idea or opinion you form before having real knowledge or experience, and it might not be accurate. For example, many people have preconceptions about remote work, but it can be very productive. Over-commercialization. Over-commercialization happens when something becomes too focused on business or profit, often losing its original value or quality. For example, some argue that the over-commercialization of traditional crafts has resulted in mass-produced, low-quality souvenirs. Tourist attraction. A tourist attraction is a place that draws visitors, usually something interesting, fun, or culturally important. For example, the night safari in Singapore is a unique tourist attraction where people can see animals at night. Erosion. Erosion is the gradual destruction or weakening of something, often caused by natural forces like wind or water. For example, soil erosion can damage farmland and reduce its ability to support healthy crops. Severely. Severely means something happens in a very bad or serious way. It's not just a little problem, but a major one. For example, the storm severely damaged the coast, knocking down trees along the roads. Infrastructure. Infrastructure refers to the basic systems and services a society needs, like roads, bridges, electricity, or water supply. For example, the government invested billions in improving public infrastructure. Revolutionize. To revolutionize something means to completely change it in a dramatic and powerful way, often for the better. For example, smartphones have revolutionized the way we communicate. Preoccupied. If you're preoccupied, it means your mind is so busy thinking or worrying about something that you forget what's happening around you. For example, she was so preoccupied with work that she forgot about the meeting. VR travel or virtual reality travel. VR travel means using technology to explore places without physically going there, just by wearing a VR headset. For example, VR travel allows people to explore historical sites from their homes. Aroma. Aroma is a pleasant smell, usually coming from food or drinks. For example, the kitchen is filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread. Sensory immersion. Sensory immersion means getting fully involved in an experience that engages all your senses, including sight, sound, touch, and even smell. For example, video games with high-quality sound and graphics provide sensory immersion. Yearn. To yearn means to strongly want something, often something that feels far away or difficult to have. For example, she yearns for a peaceful life in the countryside, away from the stress and noise of the city. Genuine. Genuine means real and sincere, not fake or forced. When someone gives you a genuine compliment, you can feel that they truly mean it. For example, her parents gave her a genuine compliment for giving them a beautiful bouquet of flowers.
That's the end of all the new vocabulary for today. We really appreciate you watching until the end of this video. We hope this video helps you prepare well for the IELTS Speaking Part 2 and Part 3. Don't forget to download the PDF in the description for the full script and vocabulary from our episode today. We'd love to hear your feedback, so leave a comment below to help us improve. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss our latest videos. Keep up the great work with your studies, and we'll see you again very soon in the next video. Happy learning!